morning. Welcome back to Morning Live. I can tell you there's so much action happening in the studio right now, and it's all exciting. Now, we all know that the FIFA Womens World Cup trophy is one of the most coveted piece of silverware in women's football, and today we are graced by its presence. It seems like with the growth of women's football, the trophy also seems to be getting bigger in size, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Joining me in studio is Coach Desiree Ellis. It's so good to see you again, Coach.
Hi, Risa. Thanks for having me once again.
And next to Coach, we've got Saskia Webber, who is, of course, an ambassador of the FIFA World Cup. Coach Ellis, let's just start with you. Talking about this trophy, it's such a beautiful moment for South Africa to actually have this trophy here in South Africa, because the team has actually qualified for the World Cup out in Australia and New Zealand.
I think it's exciting times. I think yesterday was very exciting with the young girls out there. I think it's an inspirational moment for all of them. A couple of years down the line, they'll be looking at that picture that they've taken with the World Cup trophy and say, where were you? I was there. So they're really a privileged few. And we're a privileged few of one of 32 countries. So really excited to have it in the country. Now it seems as if the World Cup is around the corner, not a couple of weeks, not a couple of months away.
Right? And Saskia, for you, I mean, you know all too well how it feels to be a champion. The USA has won the World Cup a several number of times. How important do you think it is for all these different nations to actually get a closer look at this trophy, and just for it to be used as an inspiration to the upcoming generations in terms of women footballers?
I think it's huge. I mean, when I was younger, we didn't have this. It wasn't a tangible thing to have a tour or to meet legends, to meet the coach of their national team. And so to have that and have that something you can reach for and actually see, it's amazing. And yesterday was absolutely incredible. All the kids dancing and wanting to get close, and you can't touch the trophy unless you won it. So, but even that, we were just talking about how amazing that lore is, to know that only if you win it can you hold it.
And we speak about not being able to touch this trophy. It comes with heavy security, I must tell you. Coach Des, just building up now to this World Cup, I think for you and the team, it's starting to become extremely real. Just seeing this trophy here now in South Africa. Talk to us as South Africans about the pressure that is on your shoulders, because you're leading the African champions. Not only that, but you've got these players week in and week out that are saying, Coach Des, I want to make this team. I want to make history. And you've got also players that have been capped before that say, I want to make it back into this Banyana side.
You have no idea the pressure. Yesterday it was shouting from a distance, bring it home, you know, so the pressure is there. The pressure is there already. I think when you get into the national team, I think it's becoming more and more difficult to select a squad, and as a coach you want that, you know, because it gives that competitive edge in the team. It's already difficult to select a preliminary squad. Imagine when you have to tone it down to 23 players, but that is what you want as a coach, because it gives you that competitiveness that you want in the team, and I think it can only make the team bigger and better.
Indeed. And just as you speak on that as well, just for the players that are watching right now and sitting at home and thinking, I haven't made the team yet, or I haven't played for Banyana in a while, is Coach Desiree Ellis still open to new players putting their hands up and possibly making it to Australia and New Zealand?
The door can never be closed. Until the very last minute, when the squad is announced, there is still an opportunity, even though if you have not been part of the team for a year or 2 years, or even this year, you can never close the door, you know, because there's someone that can just wow you that 1 minute, and maybe that's what you're looking for, that special player that you're looking for to take the team to the next level. So you can never close the door until the final squad is announced.
Now, Saskia, I love that both you and Coach Des have similar hairstyles. You've both played in the game. Saskia, let's talk about how far the women's game has come since your playing days. And I think for the longest time, we've spoken about equal pay, equal opportunity for men and women. And finally, we're starting to see the right actions taking place. And we heard FIFA President Gianni Infantino speak about how he wants women to make the same amount of money as men. What does that mean for you now as a former player to finally see the rewards of the hard work that you put in at some point?
It's amazing. It's amazing to be on, part of that journey, and seeing that we came from, in '95 World Cup in Sweden, from 12 teams now to 32 teams, having this trophy tour, knowing that the prize money is now gone up 300% to $150 million. That is huge. And now to see that local countries have stepped up and now are paying their men's teams and their women's team on an equal basis as well. It's only things we could have dreamed of and we fought for. And to see it come, we still have a little ways to go, but it's exploding. And to see the fan support, coming up on April 11th, we're going to open up ticket sales again for the World Cup. And it's huge. And get your tickets because, we've already had to go to a bigger stadium for the opening game. So it's just that love and that passion is in every country now. And you were even talking about, it's a good problem to have that you have so many players to choose from. And it's anybody's game. And that's what makes it so incredible, and the women's game just exploding, because anybody can win this World Cup.
Indeed.
I like to say it's going to be America, but anybody can win the World Cup.
Listen, we wanted to come to South Africa. Coach, as we speak about this World Cup and wanting it to come to South Africa, talk to us about the growth of this Banyana side since you took over the reins. I mean, we've seen so many new players coming to the front. We've seen them grow as well in confidence with the competitions that they've played. And then also, just as you speak about that, perhaps talk us through your learning experience in this Turkish Women's World Cup, Turkish Women's Cup that you recently participated in.
Look, we go back to 2018, and I think when we selected the squad for the recent WAFCON, we learned the lessons from that, not having certain players in certain positions. So when we selected the squad for the recent WAFCON, we wanted to make sure that we had a squad for every eventuality. We lost Tembi, and I think everybody in the country went into mourning. We had COVID in camp, and through the players that we selected, the mentality that they had was just different, Jermaine was on from the word go and said, we want to win this. She didn't talk about the quarterfinal to qualify for World Cup. We wanted to win this. And we took it game by game. We didn't have great preparation leading into that. No international friendlies. So we had to manage the load of the players along the way as well. And when we got to the final, there was no way that we were going to lose that. They were so focused, so adamant. We had players cramping on the field, but they wanted to stay and make sure that, we get that trophy. So those were some of the lessons that we took. Also having to beat Nigeria in the first game, was huge for us. And I think that performance really set the tone for the rest of the tournament. And I think over the past 4 years, not just women's football in the country, but I think the players have matured a lot. We have a lot more players playing abroad and playing in better clubs now, better leagues. And you look at the likes of, the field where Jermaine, Tembi, just to mention a few, how they've grown, how they've stepped up. Now it's the local players that have to take that step up, because there is still a little bit of a gap. So if we can bridge that gap, we will have an amazing team at the World Cup.
And as we look to bridge that gap in South Africa, Saskia, speak to us about the professionalism of women's football in America, professionalizing it, having these players being able to make it a career, and how that has aided you in your game as America, because obviously that's something that we're still working towards here in South Africa, so our players can still focus on football and have it as a career and not still have to have a 9-to-5 elsewhere.
Exactly. And with the NWSL and the new teams popping up, it's the depth that you're looking for as a coach, and to have such a amazing professional league, and knowing that the last place team in the league can beat the first place team on the league in any given day, and the depth of those players, international as well as homegrown American players. Now we're seeing 17-year-olds come up, two 15-year-olds were just signed. I think that that is where the evolution of women's soccer is going, period. And we look at the English league, we look at the French league. There's so many options now. There are options for players to go all over the world and play pro, not just in America. And that's just why this World Cup is going to be the most competitive ever. And the more that grows, it is marketable, and we're proving that. And we're proving it with the Euros, how successful that was. Selling out stadiums, and moving on to the World Cup, selling out stadiums and everything. This is an entity, this is a business, and now you don't have to work 9-to-5. Now you just play soccer, because I had to work 9-to-5.
Yeah.
I had to stay with my parents, and I had to go to practice, and I was in my 20s. So just the reality of that is, again, a dream come true. And even for me, I'm an owner in the NWSL for Angel City.
Yeah.
And to know that myself, after I retire, I can do something like that as well, become a GM, become a coach, become an owner. Sky's the limit for women.
Saskia, just as you touch on that, your word of encouragement to parents at home that are watching right now, because there are a lot of girls that want to play soccer, and a lot of parents are just saying, how are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to feed your family? And that's something that perhaps you went through. So what do you say to those parents that have got these daughters that have so much talent, but are just like...
I think with the world opening up, it's not just, I want to play for my national team, and that's not actually where you make the money, really, unless you win the World Cup. It is playing pro. And like I said, with so many different places to go on and fulfill your dream and play pro, and it doesn't just end there. That's why I keep saying that. For those parents out there, you can look at your daughter. She can become a coach. She could become a GM. She could become an owner. And so be in the front office. And it can lead to so many other things. Let your kids live their dreams. Really, you only get one shot around, and play, and see where it takes you, because it's incredible. It's the best sport in the world, so.
Indeed. Coach Des, just as I wrap up with you quickly, expectations today, where do we see you with this World Cup trophy? Where can people come out to see the best coach in Africa and the World Cup trophy?
We'll be at Chris Hani Mall in Vosloorus. I think when I think about Vosloorus, I think about the last AFCON that I played in Vosloorus, and they came out in their numbers to support, and I'm hoping that they come out today again, because to take pics for the World Cup trophy, it's a dream come true for many.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Coach Desiree Ellis, the best coach in Africa, and of course Saskia Webber, former America's goalkeeper and also ambassador for FIFA. That's how we wrap up your sports news in this hour. Do go out and see them. They will be at the Chris Hani Mall out in Vosloorus in the east of Johannesburg. Coach Des has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. We as South Africa wanted to go into this World Cup and do amazingly, and Coach, we do wish you all the best. That's how we wrap up your sports news in this hour.